Hey ladies, how are you? Welcome back to the podcast. We age graceful. I'm excited about this episode because I can relate to it so much. And I know I'm not the only one. Stop waiting for the right time to do whatever it is. And the theme of this podcast is self-growth, self-love, and healing your inner child. I'm still healing the inner child in me. I'm being honest. But before we get into this good episode, if you hear little feet tapping, that's my chihuahua. She is walking around and she's living her best life. And she's like, what are you doing down here? What are you doing down here? You need to be up them steps. But you hear her? You hear her? She has a bed right in front of me. It's like to the right of me. And she also has a bed like way back there. So I think she's going to her bed in the back so she can kind of like just rest because she's displaced as well. Not only am I displacing people in my family, but I'm displacing her as well because, I could do that. But how are you guys doing? What's been going on? How are you feeling? How's your week going? For those of you who may have small children or just like to celebrate, are you celebrating Halloween this year? I don't have any small ones, so I don't really do Halloween. Look at Stink coming. She is like, what are you doing down here? What is this thing down here? Why are you here? Go sit down, Stink. I call her Stink. Her name is Princess. And I call her Stink because sometimes she be stinking. Her little poop. So I call her Stink. And she seems to like it. I don't know. Maybe she don't. But she's going to sit down soon. But how are you guys doing? Well, back what we were talking about in regards to Halloween. Are you celebrating Halloween? Have you got the costumes or what the kids doing in school? For those of you who have young ones, for those of you who don't, are you doing any adult Halloween parties? I haven't been invited to any, so I don't know. I would like to be. My oldest daughter said she was going to do a Halloween party, but I was like, is she inviting me though? Is it just amongst her friends, her millennial friends? Like, what's the deal with that? So, I don't know, but I don't know. I might if somebody's having something, and I might attend. I'm not doing any candy this year. I'm not having my light on, and I'm not doing any of that. I'm not in the mood for that. I'm in the mood for some adult content, some adult Halloween stuff. So mean. But yeah. But I just want to talk about always waiting for the right time. Stink is having a moment, and I really don't want to have to push her out of here. I just want her to sit down and be a good guest. Now, she's probably looking at me like, this is my wind down time. She is so displaced. Okay, so she's going to lay on a pillow that she has. She is all in my business today. I guess it's because I need to, she wants to go rest. Let me go let her rest. Okay, so we're back. I had to get her situated. She was just tap dancing all on this floor with her claws and everything. I just couldn't take it. I could not take it. So this is the reason why I have to reach my goal so we can be in our studio. So we could just do this at any time of the day. If it's in the morning, if it's in the evening, I still have my recording days, which is on the weekend on Saturday, but I've been doing a couple of episodes in the evening because it's nice and quiet. Even though I can still light up my living room, I have ceiling lights. I forgot what they call these. They're like in my ceiling. So I just turn them on and I can just like have this good lighting. So I like the fact that I can do something in the evening versus me having to do it on the weekend and taken away. I can kind of still have a weekend, if you will. So I want to talk about this. Stop waiting for the right time, to grow, love yourself, and heal that inner child, because I still, like I mentioned before, I still deal with healing my inner child. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's tough. You know, I'm gonna get into the inner child thing later, but just talking about like self growth and not being so hard on yourself and seeing how far you have come, and when it comes to self love, knowing your self worth and things like that, and knowing what you deserve and what what you're not gonna tolerate, those type of things. So I just wanted to just kind of like tap in on that. Why do we always sit back and wait for the right time? What is the purpose of waiting for the right time? That gets me, because I do it to myself too. And then when other people say, "Oh, I'm just waiting for the right time. I gotta have my ducks in a row before I do X, Y, and Z." And I could understand in certain aspects of life, absolutely. But in certain things, I feel like we should just go ahead and do it. Like just do it. But before, I didn't feel that way, so I have to sit back and always remember that. But why are we waiting for the right time? I feel like it's fear of the unknown. We waiting because we don't want to fail. We don't know if it's going to happen, or if it is going to happen. Like, prime example, I was a little nervous about applying for the Sephora squad. I applied for the Sephora squad, and people, wanted to leave me testimonials. And I was nervous. It's like, do you, the unknown, are you going to make it, or are you not going to make it? All these different things. And I just said, you know what? I can't always wait. I just got to do it. I got to see what's going to happen. And if you want to leave me a testimonial, I'll leave the link in the description or in the show notes, because you can still leave a testimonial even if the applications are closed, because they're going to announce who's on the squad sometime in November. So we got about 2 weeks or so for that. Nervous, but if you want to leave me a testimonial, you can go ahead and do so. The link is still live and well and open. I do appreciate you. But sometimes we just have the fear of unknown, waiting for the right time, because we're letting perfectionism set in. We're sitting back and we're like, oh, it has to be perfect before I do anything. And you don't really have to wait. You don't have to wait for anything. But sometimes we just get so conditioned to just waiting for that perfect time. And what the perfectionism is doing is paralyzing us. That's exactly what it's doing. Sometimes to sit back and just say, you know what? Let me just go for it and see what happens. If it doesn't work out, oh well, I tried my best foot forward. So what you can do. And another one is, just life transitions over 40. Sometimes it can just be so hard. You sit back and you've been on, say, we're going to use career as an example. You've been on your job from your 20s, sometime right out of high school, right out of college, and you've been on your job, and now you're 40, you're getting bored, and you're just sitting back thinking, I don't want to change my job. I don't want to get to know new people. I don't want to learn new things. I don't want to lose my seniority. I just want to stay here and ride it out to retirement. But meanwhile, you still got a hump to go. You got a hump to go. And sometimes we get so caught up. I think about people in my family that may have been in the same job for a long period of time. But that was that generation. Like, the boomers, the silent generation, they stay on their jobs from the start to finish. Because the longer you stay, the more money you got, like pension-wise, Social Security came on down the road. But I feel like now we live in such a different time. Me personally, I keep growing in my career. I do not have a problem with changing jobs. Because I feel like they say if you stay in a job over 2 years, you stunt your income. You get your normal raises and things like that. But if you're not getting good raises, or you're not getting good promotions within your job, you miss out on money, because the economy goes up every year. The economy goes up, and it has to, due to inflation, supply and demand, and you just getting them regular little merit raises. That's not a income raise or nothing like that. You got to go and get that income raise. It's just different. So that's sometimes why we wait for the right time. We always waiting to, see what's best for us and see what's best for others. Sometimes we can't even do anything because we have small children. I've been there before. Things that I want to do in my life, and I had to sit back and wait. I had kids, but you have to be a parent. You bring these babies in the world, you got to stand still until they get to a certain point in life where they're in middle school or they're in college or high school, or they can kind of like fend for themselves. Until then, all your hopes and dreams got to stand still, depend on your life and depend on what kind of support system you have. It just all depends. It all depends. Getting into self-growth, take action now. Don't wait for later to grow in anything that you want to do. Sometimes we sit back and be like, oh, I wish I was, further along in X, Y, and Z. You can. Whatever you choose to do, whatever that X, Y, and Z is, just do it. Sometimes we just got to take small steps. We don't have to do the extravagant. Sometimes just taking one step at a time and breaking things down. So say, for instance, if you want to get a degree, for this career or whatever. And sometimes, a lot of times now, in order to get promoted, they might want you to have a degree. Like, it's this lady on my job. She has like umpteen years of experience. And you would think umpteen years of experience would kind of be equivalent to maybe a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree or a doctorate in some cases. But no, they want this individual to have a degree. So she's right now going back to school to get her degree. She was doing it back in the day, you know what I mean? And so she still had her credits and whatnot. And luckily she only had like a little bit just to, get, I think about under a year or something, like maybe a semester or two, just to go ahead and get that done. But it's something that you really want to do, go ahead and do it. Just break it down. Take that big goal, that whatever you want, and just go ahead and break it down into small steps and make it doable, make it achievable, and make it enjoyable too, Breaking those cycles of procrastination. I used to deal with that real bad. I still deal with it now, but not so much to the point where it cripples me. I think I have a more of a consistency. Because I'll do, but I'll do and stop. Procrastination is like not doing nothing. Like nothing. I will do. I will do. But I had to break that. I had to get over those mental barriers. And I had to also, again, like set realistic goals for myself. Because sometimes when we set these high goals, we feel we can't even reach them. So we'll sit back and we won't do nothing at all. So we have to set realistic goals so we can achieve them. Then the procrastination will stop. And we'll find enjoyment in it. It's like you got to play a mind game with yourself, if that makes any sense. You really do. So what are some like actionable tips that you can do to kind of see yourself grow? One that I do every year. Last year I did it twice. I did it twice. A vision board. I have my vision board as my screensaver. I look at it every day. I look at my phone every day. And I look at where I want to go, what I want to do, and how I want things to look. I know how I see my life in a year from now, 2 years from now, or 5 years from now. And just because I may see something in a 1-year mark, the universe may say, you're going to keep putting that one on the vision board a little longer because you ain't ready. Okay? You ain't ready. And that's okay. But as long as you know, it's like a goal. You keep setting it. You keep setting it. So make a vision board and make that vision board, real, and actually see yourself. It's so funny. I put on my vision board, wanted to just get more in shape, right? And you pick the fittest woman you see on Pinterest and you take that picture, right? And you do that. I have been going to the gym, not like I wanted to. I wanted to do the 6 days a week. Right now we doing 1 to 2. I'm trying to go back to 3 to 4. No, 2 to 3. I had to get it together. And I cleaned my garage out. So I made some realistic goals, and I made some ways for me to make sure I achieve those goals. I got to get these 15 pounds off, y'all. I got to get them off. But yeah, just make a vision board for your self-growth so you can actually see yourself in this light. I wanted to do 75 hard, but I don't know if I can do that. I don't got to take a picture of myself every day, but doing everything else, I just feel like a gallon of water is a lot. I've done that before, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, the hydration that you feel. But you're going to be going to the bathroom, though. You're going to be going to the bathroom. So, in saying all of that, just embrace imperfection. It's okay to not be perfect. It's a thing that I like to say. Done, is it done? Oh my God, how was that saying? Done is better than not done. Something like that. Like, just do it. You don't got to do it sloppy, but just do it. And sometimes when we just put our best foot forward, that'll help us grow. That'll help us grow in so many ways. Not just in career, but in, our personal growth with self-development, mental, everything. Because sometimes we just play a game on ourselves and feeling like we just can't move forward. But we really can. Just got to take small steps and just be kind to ourselves. Another thing I want to talk about is self-love. Why you deserve to take action now on self-love. You don't have to wait. We're always waiting for ways to pour into ourselves. We can pour into ourselves right now. And I feel like sometimes we feel like we don't want to pour into ourselves because we're not enough. You have to understand that you are enough. I've been there before. When I say I was hard on myself, I was hard on myself. I catch myself sometimes. This is being transparent. I catch myself sometimes. But self-love is so important, because if you don't love yourself and have self-compassion and celebrate your small wins and just pretty much just having self-compassion and gratitude, nobody else will. Nobody else will have it for you. If you treat yourself messed up, you'll condition other folks to treat you messed up. So you got to pour into yourself. I wrote some things down here, and I put, like for self-compassion, to show yourself self-love by accepting yourself where you are, but knowing that you deserve to grow into the best version of yourself. People always say, oh, when you're in your 40s, you should know what you want. You should know this. Yeah, but it's okay to want more. It's okay to want to change. Sometimes you can have epiphanies. Sometimes you can have like little moments in your life where you're like, you know what? I feel good. I'm happy where I am, but I just want a little bit more. And you could be grateful for where you are, but there's nothing wrong with having more and wanting more. That's a part of growth. If you don't want more and you are comfortable and stagnant for what you have, me personally, I always strive for more. I want to strive to not only want more for myself, I want more for my daughters. I want to just, be better, be a better person. It doesn't have to always be material things. It could be better in your mindset, be better in your health, things like that. Just, striving for more, just striving for better, And that's the part of like self-love. In my opinion. But let's move on into this inner child. Y'all, your girl here, Oh, I hope that wasn't too hard on you. But I can still see my 9-year-old self, my 13-year-old self, my 14-year-old self, my 15-year-old self, just going through it, going through it. And I'm still healing my inner child. I am still healing my inner child. And I had to accept, I had to sit back and sit in my wounds, sit in how my wounds affected me throughout my life. And even as an adult, even today, you know, those wounds still come up today. Okay. And do I do a good job in camouflaging that and maneuvering through life? Absolutely. Because as sometimes you get numb. There's a book out called The Body Keep the Score. I have that book. I'm gonna link it so you can you can see the book. And I'm gonna probably link a few more books that I've been reading in regards to, like, trauma, attachment styles, and how my youth and my adolescence plays a big part in today. And I know I'm not the only one that has some form of trauma in their life, but we don't realize, if you don't handle your trauma, it can carry on in relationships. It can carry on in the day-to-day life. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. And I can sit back now, and I remember certain people in my life saying things to me like, get over it, or don't let X, Y, and Z bother you, or whatever. But meanwhile, people don't even really know what goes on. People just know surface level, or they know what books might say. But until you actually sit in it and live somebody's life, you don't know. Because everybody handles things differently. Somebody can sit and see death in their family, and it doesn't bother them. They can move on with life. Next person, death tears them to pieces. They can't even hold on. Okay? Can't even hold on. So we all see things differently. But for me, what it means to heal my inner child and things that I'm doing today, I'm pretty much reparenting myself. Reparenting myself. And no fault to, like my mother or anything like that. I feel like a lot of my wounds come from my father. My wounds definitely come from my father. And I have to reparent myself to know that that little girl inside of me deserves to be healed. In addition, deserves, to have the love that she actually wanted, And I just have to sit back and know that I can do that for myself, and don't seek that from nobody else. Reparenting yourself looks different. It definitely looks different. And I've had people tell me when I mention, like, daddy issues or issues with, like my father or whatever, told me to get over it. I'll never forget that. I was in my late 30s, and I was told to get over it. You should be over that by now. What's right and what's wrong, and who cares? Just live your life. Get over that. And it's like, what do you mean get over it? I lived it. You can't get over it. You can't. And I look at people who go through things in their life with their parents. If it's a mother issue, if it's a father issue, they still go through it. But sometimes other people know how to numb themselves differently. It's just amazing. But for me, you can start feeling unworthy, and you can start feeling in a real bad place. And you can make wrong decisions in relationships, because I know I have, seeking certain validations in, men, because of that wound, You know what I mean? But I had to realize at this age, I really wanted to heal myself from that trauma that I have and heal my inner child and understand that, you know what, now I have to take control. I have to take control, and I can comfort that young girl inside of me and know that she is secure, she is protected, and all the things, you know. That's why it's important, you know, even if parents are not together anymore, they should still be there for their children. Even if it's a little boy, if it's a little girl, it don't matter what age they are in, you should still be there, because you could be an adult, i.e. me, and you can still have these issues. You know what I mean? So, what am I doing? What actual steps that I'm taking? I'm just affirming myself and reconnecting with the joyful childhood part of myself. And I still engage in childful and joyful activities. Prime example, I mean, going to the fair. You know, that's something that everyone does. But when I did it, not only did I take my daughter, but I took myself to have a good time and to just live in the moment and to do things, eat funnel cake, cotton candy, have all the things. You know, sometimes reparenting yourself is doing childful things. You know, and it's nothing wrong with that. And if you are someone like me, you know, I'm having a transparent moment right here. Someone like me, and you have experienced that, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because if you don't, no one will. No one will. So in saying all of that, we're going to move right along, because I don't want to trigger myself. I feel myself getting a little full. So I want to laugh it off so I don't get full and I can kind of finish off the episode. But what are some practical steps to stop waiting? You know, stop waiting for that right time to do, you know, what you want to do, you know, and move forward. I always talk about self-care. I'm looking at my notes right now. I always talk about self-care, you know, whatever you want to do, don't stop. If you want to start a business, if you want to take a trip of a lifetime, if you want to, you know, do self-care, go ahead and do it. Don't stop whatever you want to do for anyone. Because we're at a time in our life right now where we have to say, when do you actually start living for yourself? You know, we waiting for this right time to do all these different things. And I had put off so long with healing my inner child, with having self-growth, with having self-care. And here I am sharing with you about stop waiting for the right time. There is no right time. Right now is the right time. So in saying that, even if it's this week and it's something that you really, really want to do, take that pen and paper out, write it down. Write it down. Even if you want to go on a trip, if you want to go somewhere far, if it's Aruba, Greece, Turkey, wherever, Iceland, you know, Ireland, wherever. And it might take you a year to save, 6 months to save, 2 years to save. Like I want to take my youngest daughter to Japan. That's not an easy trip. That's not like me saying, oh, I want to go to the Bahamas. You know, that's not me saying I want to go to Cancun. You know, those trips is real quick and easy. But Japan is a different story, honey. Because you just can't go to Japan for 2 days. You know, it's going to take you about 24 hours to even get there. Then you got to have a day to kind of rest and kind of recoup from jet lag. Then you got to get into the whole country itself, and then you got to prepare to go back. You know, so it's a lot. So I want to do that for my youngest daughter, so I can, you know, because going back, okay, now let's rewind a little bit. I talked about trips because I wanted to say if it's anything that you just want to do, go ahead and just do it. And I start talking about the trip for my daughter. But I want to go back into healing my inner child and it's talking about how it shows up in like later on in life and not letting history repeats itself because it's a vicious cycle. You know what I mean? And just because I've done something and I'm where I am, I don't want that same thing to hinder my daughters or whatever the case may be. So that's why I'm doing the work that I need to do so I can be as an example. So this won't hinder my daughters. You know what I mean? And yeah, I want to put that out there. I'm having a very vulnerable moment because this podcast is not just for me sharing and providing value. It's for me too. It's a process for me. I'm growing, I'm evolving just like everybody else is. Oh boy, this is a moment, y'all. But just commit to consistency, and that's what I'm doing. Stick to your self-growth, stick to your journey, and don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be perfect, and every small step that you make, if it's healing your inner child, if it's self-growth, if it's self-care, every little step is progress. So saying all of that, I just kind of want to do a recap of everything that we actually talked about. Let me get myself together here because I want to make sure I say everything and don't leave anything out. But like I said, stop waiting for the right time and do everything that you want to do, whatever it comes to. If it's self-growth, if it's self-love, if it's healing your inner child like myself, just do it. Take small steps. Know where you want to be and know how you see your life and just make those changes. And it don't have to happen overnight. It don't got to happen in 6 months. But just take your time and do it for yourself. Because let me tell you something. It's going to feel so good. It's going to feel so good. I tell you, I still get full when I do talk about it. But at the end of the day, I feel so good. I feel so good where I am. And I'm happy that I'm moving forward and making the changes that I'm actually making in my life for myself. Okay? So if you enjoyed this episode and you found it informative, you found value in it, or you just related with me in any kind of way, go ahead, hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or any streaming platform, go ahead and follow. Leave your girl a review and leave your comments below. And I'll catch you in the next episode. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm so happy that you are here. Catch you in the next episode.